MedCram.com.
So I wanted to tell you about a formerly experimental procedure that was mostly done on elderly patients with aortic stenosis that could not tolerate surgery that has actually turned out so well that it's now used and is FDA approved for most patients. And it's known as transcatheter aortic valve replacement or implantation, otherwise known as TAVR or TAVI. You can see that here. There are different forms of this type of valve, and basically what it is that they're using a catheter that gets implanted into various parts of the body where there's arterial circulation. So they could go trans-aortic, they could go trans-arterial in the hand or even in the leg, and they're putting these very skinny catheters up and into the area of the aortic valve. So if you see here the aortic valve, and let's say it's not opening up as well as it should, what they can do is go in and insert the catheter here into this area, and then they're able to deploy and push these valves out of the way and deploy a valve in this area here. The new valves then take over, which are bioprosthetic, and you can see those here, here, and also here. Now, obviously, this is a potentially risky procedure, but if we look at the data, you'll see in the Partner 3 trial, which was published by the American College of Cardiology, that low-risk patients with aortic stenosis that were randomized to either the intervention versus the surgery showed primary outcome with all-cause mortality, stroke, or rehospitalization were reduced in the TAVR group, and that was 8.5% versus 15.1%. That was significant, as you can see there. The stroke at 30 days was only 0.6% for the TAVR, but it was 2.4% for the surgical group. When we're talking about surgical, we're talking about opening them up and actually doing a bioprosthetic or mechanical valve like we talked about earlier. And then permanent pacemakers also reduced 6.5% for the TAVR and 4.0% for the open. This was published back in 2019. So the conclusions were that among low-risk patients with aortic stenosis, TAVR was actually superior to SAVR, and that's why it got FDA approval in 2019. TAVR was associated with lower incidence of stroke and a similar incidence of permanent pacemaker compared to SAVR. So if you look at the indications, back in 2014, the way that you would do this is you would look at surgical risk. And if the surgical risk was high, then you would go with a TAVR. Now, you still look at surgical risk, but age is more of a key factor now, such that if the patient is greater than 80 years of age or has less than 10 years life expectancy, you really want to go with TAVR. If the patient is anywhere between 65 and 80, then you can have this determination about TAVR versus the actual surgical aortic valve replacement. Because these are bioprosthetic valves in most cases, anticoagulation is not mandatory as you might think, but there are some recommendations because there are in-valve stroke risk. And so let's go over those. There's two sets of guidelines. Let's look first of all at the Europeans in 2021, and you'll see here that for patients without underlying indication for chronic oral anticoagulation, they recommended lifelong single antiplatelet therapy like aspirin. That is recommended in patients after TAVR with no baseline indication for oral anticoagulation. They don't recommend oral anticoagulation in patients with no baseline indication for oral anticoagulants. So that means Coumadin or other anticoagulants. For those patients with underlying indication for chronic oral anticoagulation like atrial fibrillation, they do recommend lifelong for TAVR patients who do actually have indications for OAC. So basically either aspirin for life or anticoagulation for life, depending on which situation you fall into. If we look at the Americans, the American Heart and the American College of Cardiology in 2020, it's a little more complicated. Patients without underlying indications for chronic OAC, patients with bioprosthetic TAVRs, then use aspirin. For patients with bioprosthetic TAVRs who are at low risk of bleeding, they would say dual antiplatelet therapy, so a little more aggressive, with aspirin and with clopidogrel, which is Plavix. For patients with bioprosthetic TAVR who are at low risk of bleeding, they say anticoagulation with a vitamin K antagonist like Coumadin to achieve an INR of 2.5 may be reasonable for at least 3 months after valve implantation. For patients with bioprosthetic TAVR, treatment with low-dose rivaroxaban plus aspirin is contraindicated in the absence of other indications for oral anticoagulation. So these are the indications for TAVR, and this has become a growing segment, and many more patients are getting this type of intervention. Well, if you like this video, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us at MedCram.com, where we have all of these videos commercial-free and many more videos that have continuing medical education on various topics like EKG, mechanical ventilation, asthma, and congestive heart failure. Thanks again for joining us.